Hello everyone, it's me Nox, and welcome back, or welcome to my channel. Today I'll be going over how to take inspiration from characters, music, or animals, but not completely copy the source material. I will warn you, I'm not a professional, and most likely never will be, so take this with a grain of salt. Now let's get on to the first example. Alrighty, so this is my OC Lucrezia. As you can see, it was inspired by Randall Ivory, who is the one with the red hair. I don't support that creator. We just inspiration. So I feel like it's okay to have inspiration from characters where their creators aren't the best people, as long as you are not following along with what that creator was doing. If that is like a wrong idea, please feel free to tell me. But moving on. My next inspiration is Rewrite Sonic. It looks like the Sonic the Hedgehog. So, if you don't know who that is, I don't know how to help you. Then there's ICP, which is the red hooded thing. It's a band. And then finally myself. So, let's start with Randall, once again the red-haired one. I really enjoy the uneven haircut, and for the simple yet recognizable design, at least for those who know the character. So I incorporate the even haircut onto Lucrezia, and I know you can't see it, but it usually has a flowered, collared shirt. Let's move on to Rewrite Sonic. I really loved how innocent this version of Sonic seemed until the later in the game. This is an F&F mod, if you didn't know. So, yeah. I also really enjoyed the angular shapes that make this Sonic up, so I incorporate those into the sharp cheekbones that Lucrezia has, and a lot of the points in the hair. So next is ICP, which is Insane Clown Posse. It's a band that often features gore and other subjects like that in their music. I personally enjoy it, but wouldn't recommend it to someone who doesn't enjoy gore. ICP is more incorporated into Lucrezia's personality than the design, as I opt for featuring Lucrezia with more gory surroundings in my artwork. Finally is myself. I'm gonna be honest, it's really just the gap in the teeth. Before I got braces, I had a pretty large gap, and I found I kind of liked it, but it's gone now, obviously. But, so, yeah. I also, myself, enjoy really exaggerated arm swings and hand motions, so those really went into Lucrezia's overall character movement and personality. Now let's move on to my next OC. Alrighty, so this is Salzala. As you can see, she is mostly inspired by biblical figures, as her religion is a large piece of her lore. She's inspired by Archangel Michael, Eve from Adam and Eve, a bleeding heart dove, and once again myself. A little future Nox here, I don't have a script for this next part, so sorry if it's really unformatted. Alright, so let's start with the bleeding heart dove. In most of Salzala's lore, she is a bleeding heart. She cares about a lot. I made Salzala with the intention of her being good intentioned, but not the best execution. So, like Eve, which is the next one I'll be going over, she is good, and then has a pretty big fall from grace. And then as she rises back up, so I'm tearing down her character and rebuilding her, I have Archangel Michael, because she will be later turning into more of a fighter, I guess. A lot of the stuff that came from Archangel Michael is probably the blonde hair. And finally, myself. I feel like most of our OCs are inspired by ourselves, whether that is intentional or not. So, most of what comes from myself is... So, in Lucrezia's, I said I love big hand gestures and stuff. She is more of my reclusive nature. Don't get me wrong, I love the big hand gestures, I love the jokes, I love making those, but it's more around my friends. I genuinely cannot find it in myself to do that around just a normal person. So she'll be much more weak-willed in the beginning, and then I will work on building her will back up during the later parts of the lore. So a lot of the stuff she's inspired by is more characteristic and lore than actual design. And that is it. I would just like to thank you for watching. I really hope this helped. Have a good day, afternoon, or night. Bye!